Hey guys, welcome to Did You Get That on Film? On this podcast, we deep dive into horror movies, and so it is full of explicit content as well as spoilers. Please be advised. Now, let's get to the show.
It's a December to remember and a year to forget. Going outside feels like looking into the deadlights, but luckily horror is pulling you out of the dead zone. I'm DP here with the one and only Ruth, telling you to get your fingers out of your ears, put them to your neck, because it's time for a pulse check.
Dante, you ate that up. Dante, you ate that clean the fuck up. I'm so impressed. That was amazing. Bravo.
Thank you.
But yes, so hello everyone. Welcome back. So we are here to give you a new pulse check episode. I know that we said that we were going to do these like kind of frequently. We didn't. We absolutely did not, and that is our bad. But we're here with a brand new episode. So we hope that you're feeling it. We wanted to do an episode like this, get one of these out just before the end of the year, because again, we did say we were going to do them frequently. My thoughts, and I think Dante agrees, we're going to do them a lot more frequently next year. I think next year we're going to, get ourselves together completely. That's the plan.
Yeah.
We have a lot coming up. Thank you for sticking with us. I know that y'all are tired of hearing us say that, but we do. I promise. But yes.
It's a weird year.
This was
A long and short year at the same time.
Yes.
I was looking at my letterbox.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a list of all the movies I've watched over the year. I can't believe that like Wolfman came out this year.
Dante, that's so funny that you say that. I was thinking the exact same fucking thing because I was trying to remember like, okay, what else is coming out before the end of the year? Because we're recording this on December 2nd, so it's like the very start of December. There isn't too much else coming out this month as far as like theatrical releases, but when I was looking at the list of like 2025 releases, I was like, Wolfman! That was this year? I cannot fucking believe it.
I feel like I saw that like years ago, but I saw it in theaters this year. I can't believe it. Feels like it happened like a fever dream.
Yes. But all the chit chat aside, are you ready to jump into some of our topics today?
Yeah.
We have a few things to talk about. So we just wanted to do this like kind of year-end check-in with you guys. So it's not going to be too long. We just wanted to touch on a few things. Just some like more recent updates because I know that it's been a while. We're not going to slog over like everything that's happened since the last time we checked in because that would be a lot of fucking material.
That would just be the updates on Scream 7.
Oh my god. But I didn't think with this one, I didn't think we were going to focus that much on Scream 7 because we kind of did last time. It was actually like the bulk of our last episode.
And I didn't watch the preview.
Yes, so there isn't really any use talking about it. Although I did watch the preview, I do have to say it looks amazing. I am excited for it. I did kind of change my tune. I'm still a little skeptical. I'm still a little worried. I've been fooled by trailers before, so you can't always trust them. But it does look good. It does seem like Sydney is back to like her old form, which I love. Not weak, scared Sydney, but really strong, badass Sydney, and that's my favorite. So we'll see. I'm glad that we've come full circle and we're bringing it back to, in my opinion, the only characters that really matter in this whole franchise, Sydney and Gale. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought about? We really aren't the worst podcasters in the world because we've recorded a lot of material, like almost Tupac level material.
No, that's a fact.
It's quite a few. So I bring it up because I'm saying, we're talking about Sydney and Gail. I'm like, they haven't listened to the Scream 2 episode. So they don't even know like how I really feel about everybody else in the movies.
Yeah, sorry. So we do have a Scream 2 episode. I know we've been saying that forever, but we do have a Scream 2
really,
episode.
guys, we recorded it the week after we recorded I know she did last summer.
Yeah, it was all around the same time.
So 2024.
So it is very far into editing. It's a whole
Yeah.
thing, because then we jump around with what we want to release when and the schedule, and so it's just a lot. But I'm sorry, no excuses. They are coming, and I think that the Scream 2 episode is great. We have a lot of feelings. We're pretty opinionated people. I've found, which is why we started the podcast. I have things to say.
I want to be heard.
I want people to know. But yes, so the first thing on the agenda, I wanted to talk about Mike Flanagan. There's a lot of updates on Mike Flanagan projects. So just a little like backstory. So in 2022, Mike Flanagan signed this exclusive multi-year deal with Amazon Studios. So he is moving the production company that he runs with Trevor Macy, which is called Intrepid Pictures. So they had a deal with Netflix, and they've been doing a lot of stuff for Netflix, but now they're moving over to Amazon. So some stuff that you might know from Intrepid Pictures. So for Netflix, they did things like The Haunting of Hill House. They did The Haunting of Bly Manor. And then they did Midnight Mass for Netflix as well, and all of which I think were extremely popular. Motion picture wise, they also did adaptations of Stephen King's like Doctor Sleep. So Intrepid Pictures did Doctor Sleep, and they also did Gerald's Game, Dante's favorite.
They kinky. I'm telling y'all. If I see Gerald Game in your house, I know y'all freaky.
So he did Gerald's Game. That was on Netflix. They also did the movie Hush, and they also did the movie Oculus. Now, those were also written and directed by Mike Flanagan. So then it was announced in 2024 that their very first project with Amazon would be a mini-series adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie. Now, apparently, this is going to be an 8-episode kind of mini-series, and it's going to be more book accurate. The quote that I saw was that it's going to follow the book to a T. So it's going to be a lot more accurate than some other adaptations, because, y'all, we are so... like, we're such pieces of shit, because we also have a Carrie episode. Y'all, I am so sick of us. We also have a Carrie episode that was recorded a million fucking years ago. I think it's gonna be great.
It was my favorite one to record.
Seriously, because it's one of those ones that we really, 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 really enjoy doing, and I hope that y'all enjoy listening to them, because if not, that's really embarrassing. It's the book movie like adaptation comparison type thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So we read the book, and we really, we go through the movie the way that we usually do, but we do point out a lot of similarities and differences to the book. And in the movie that we all know and love, the Sissy Spacek movie, it is pretty different in like a lot of major ways, right? Like specifically the ending is majorly different.
Yeah.
But apparently the show is going to follow the book to a T. So I'm excited to see about that. One thing that I thought was a little weird, and I don't like, I'm gonna like try to be very sensitive about this, because we talk about it in that episode, which y'all wouldn't know, but you will know soon. They made casting announcements, and one casting announcement they made, and tell me how you feel about this. Like, am I just being like too sensitive about it? They cast this young actress. Her name is Summer Howell. I cannot tell you anything else that she's been in. I apologize for that. She's young. I don't know these projects, but Dante, just look her up. She's going to be playing Carrie.
Hold on.
Now, Dante, you remember how Stephen King describes Carrie in the book, right?
Yeah, quiet piggy.
Dante. Mean, but also accurate in the book, y'all. And I don't, this is Stephen King. This is not me. But Carrie is a fat, and he says fat, sloppy,
grease-faced
weirdo. And everything that we just said is in the book, except maybe Sloppy. I don't know if he called her Sloppy, but he said something along those lines. She is really, like, not well.
Cap.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the things that people have noted is that Sissy Spacek is, like, not those.
Pretty.
Yeah, she's not at all those things. Like, she's, like, an objectively pretty woman.
They just had her in, like, drapes.
Right. They were just like, here, put on these, like, LDS robes, and then boom, you're ugly. No, it doesn't fucking work that way. That's not the point of it. In the book, she doesn't conform to the typical beauty standards.
Because she looks greasy is what it is.
That's the thing. It's not just that she's overweight, which is something that he says.
The thing is that she's greasy. Her hair is greasy, and her face
is greasy.
she has pimples
All over.
Here's the thing about that, because even Christine, he does that. It's like they have really bad acne.
Mhm.
He's dresses like it's not just the weight. It's that she's greasy.
Yes. Same thing with Psycho, which is an episode that we did release.
Put out.
That one is out. It's my favorite thus far. I think it was like one of the, not the last episode, but the episode before that. He describes Norman also as being kind of disgusting.
Robert Bloch, not Stephen King.
Yes, sorry. I'm sorry. Not Stephen King. But these are the things where it's like kind of the movie doesn't commit.
Hires a model.
Right, because I'm like
Anthony Perkins is a model.
Literally, like there is not a.
He's 6'4".
There's not Dante. He has perfect skin, full head of hair. You know, lean. He's kind of muscular. He's a good looking man. There's not a single person in the world that would like look at him, compare this to the book, and be like, oh yeah, that's Norman Bates. No. And they were like, I don't know, just give him a sulky face and now all of a sudden he's unattractive. No, it doesn't fucking work that way. So that's what they're doing with this character, Summer Howell, who is a very pretty girl. She is not greasy. I don't know if they're going to make her look greasy and give her pimples, but I'm going to venture to say that they probably won't. And that is a thing. It's like, I don't know, am I being too picky? When you use verbiage...
Well, not when you say to the T.
Exactly. It's actually a big deal in the book that she is not conventionally attractive.
Greasy.
Dante does not like a greasy bitch.
Because the teachers kept bringing up her grease too.
They did. I think. Wait.
And the principal. Oh my god.
Wait. No. Dante. Wait. Okay. We're gonna get to that. But wait. Am I not mistaken? Am I remembering this wrong? This is a cruel person. Is there not a part where a teacher like kind of touches her and then feels kind of weird that she? I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. I do not. Mean to laugh. But then feels kind of weird that she like touched her with her hand because this girl is kind of nasty. And then I think she's also funky, right? Is she funky?
She smells bad.
She smells bad. Because her
mom is awful.
Is a horrible person. She doesn't teach her like hygiene. She doesn't teach her things about her body, which is obvious. So she doesn't understand.
No, she don't wear deodorant.
No, Dante, 100%. I know she doesn't wear deodorant. But that's the thing. It's Carrie is this way because her mother has made her this way. It's not, we're not blaming this teenage girl for being greasy.
Why you didn't tell me, Mom?
What? And it's all so sad.
They was laughing at me.
Yeah, so that's the thing. They said they're following it to a T, but that right there, the casting of Carrie, in my opinion, isn't.
It's very like any other movie.
Exactly.
It's Sissy Spacey. It's what's the last one? Chloe Grace. I don't think that's right, but I know it's Chloe.
It is.
I know her name is Chloe. And then the other one, the TV movie, had a very thin girl.
Yeah, just like a really thin girl. And I get it. It's like I don't get it. I don't think that it's right. I think people have at least production companies, directors, like Hollywood has an issue with casting
non-thin,
non like conventionally attractive. And I guess, I kind of understand. It's like, well, you don't want to hire a girl that is going to be made fun of, because essentially that is what happens in Carrie. She looks the way that she does, therefore she's made fun of a lot. It's not right, but that is. And I guess you don't want to necessarily subject someone to that, but you can hire an actress that isn't a very, very thin actress, and she, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that by definition, like, bigger actresses are just gonna be made fun of. Like, you put prosthetics on them, you put the pimples on them, you make them look bad as a part of the movie. I don't think that it's fair that you don't hire someone that fits the size just because there's this obsession in Hollywood to continually hire very thin that kind of follow this beauty standard that we have right now. I don't know. It kind of bothered me, in addition to the fact that it's not like authentic to the material. I don't know.
Right.
Am I being too extra?
Well, now if you say that the book is it's gonna be following the book to the T, and the first thing you do is cast a Sissy Spacey copy.
Right.
You're like, not like that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're like, who? Not in that regard. And I just think that I don't think that's right. But okay, so getting off my little soapbox. But other casting announcements. So they've cast a woman. Her name is Samantha Sloyan, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She is going to be playing Carrie's mother. She works with Mike Flanagan a lot. She's in some other things, like she's in The Haunting of Hill House, and I think she's in The Haunting of Bly Manor. I think that she's gonna fit the part. She she reminds me a lot.
Julianne Moore.
Yes, she does. She has like a Julianne Moore feel to me. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can see this working. Another casting announcement they made is Matthew Lillard is actually going to be joining the cast. He is going to be playing the principal. So it's Principal Grail in the book. They changed it to Principal Morton in the 76 movie. But yeah, Principal Grail. So he's really excited about that. I think the principal is featured a lot more in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, than the 76 movie. So I'm thinking that that means that Matthew Lillard is going to be featured a little bit more. He actually talked about the project. He said that he's really excited. They're in production right now. And he said that the first 3 episodes, I think, are pretty close to being finished. So like I said, it's going to be 8 episodes. So they're moving along pretty quickly. It is set to hit Prime sometime in 2026. We don't have an exact date for it, but are you excited for that? Are you interested looking for that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I always go back and forth because it's like when a work is really popular, you can't have too many adaptations, I guess, because every generation gets their own adaptation of the movie of it. But then it's also like he has like 67 books.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, I think that we've talked about this before. I just can't remember which episode it was. It's almost like the same movies. Oh wait, I think I know. They were redoing Misery.
And I cussed everybody out.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, I think that that's what it was. They were redoing Misery, and we were talking about the fact that we didn't think that Misery needed a remake or a reboot or anything like that. Because, again, Stephen King has,
67 books.
It's so much material. There's so many characters there. There's so much that you can do with that, and it feels like, no shade. How many Carries do we need before we move on to something else?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's controversial.
I don't care.
He has good stuff out there. There's so much to choose from.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit more excited for this Carrie project than I would be if, say, they were saying that they were making another movie. Yes, because I think that we don't need another movie. I don't think that the last one was good. At all. Sorry.
I didn't like what she did with her hands when she used her powers.
I didn't like that at all. You don't need to use your hands. It's okay.
And like she did this movement thing. Like, I don't know. And maybe the direction was like it takes a lot of physical prowess to like use these powers, so you have to make it like
the powers coming through you, out of your body. Yeah, maybe.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either. It actually completely turned me off.
To be off.
But yes, so I like that it's a show, because I think in a movie you can't put you can't put everything that needs to be put in there, because it's like this this is a shorter Stephen King book, but it's still, all of his books are really packed with a lot.
With shit.
Yeah.
Did you watch the 2002 TV movie?
The
Because that
Carrie
one
one,
split. Yeah, that one split in half, and it has a lot of stuff. It's good.
I did not watch that one.
I like that one better than the 2013 one.
Yeah, I think that maybe TV might be a good medium for this story.
Yeah,
I think a 8-episode miniseries is the perfect length to get everything that needs to be in there that you can't get in the movie.
I agree.
But yeah, so Carrie is coming sometime in 2026. I'm thinking the first half of 2026, but I don't know. I guess it depends because Matthew Lillard is saying the first episodes are practically done. I'm thinking that it will come sooner rather than later, but you never know, because I think maybe the Carrie portions, the really heavy portions, I'm thinking especially like the end, if it's sticking to the book, is probably going to cost a lot and use a lot of special effects.
Yeah.
So that might take a while. But yes. So then after Intrepid Pictures does Carrie, their next project for Amazon, they're going to be tackling Stephen King's Dark Tower series, which is kind of a saga. It's a lot of books. So Mike Flanagan announced that 3 years ago, and there hasn't really been a ton of updates on that, except him saying that it is still in the works. So I think people are like cautiously optimistic about this. It's a huge thing to tackle, obviously. It's an 8-book series.
I just feel like, do you ever think like some stuff, people are going to be like, y'all are so all over the place. Because now I'm like, some stuff don't touch.
One, we are all over the place. We really are all over the place. But yeah, no, I get it. So apparently this, the Dark Tower is going to be kind of like a passion project for Mike Flanagan. He really wants to tackle this. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so that's like in the works for Mike Flanagan. Also in the works for Mike Flanagan. So I don't know if you remember, we felt differently about it than the general public, but 2023, Exorcist Believer came out. And I think that it is safe to say that it underperformed at the box office. It did not bomb. So a lot of people might say that it definitely did not bomb. It made well over what it cost to make. But it received a ton of backlash. It was not well received at all. Critics panned it. The audience panned it. It just like didn't do well. David Gordon Green was essentially laughed out of that franchise. David Gordon Green was taken out back and put down like Old Yeller. I cannot believe the way that this man retreated from this fucking franchise. So The Exorcist Believer was supposed to be movie 1 of a 3-movie trilogy.
In their defense, he was coming off of Halloween Ends, and people didn't really like that movie.
Well, look, this is the thing, though. People also didn't feel that hot about Kills.
No, because Kills is awful.
It's too... I don't even want to say that it was too ambitious, because I don't even want to give him that much credit.
Wait, which one's ambitious? What's ambitious?
Kills. I don't want to say
No, it was bad. It was just bad. I thought you were talking about Ends.
No, because ambitious... I think the word ambitious does work for Ends. Kills came out, we both hated it. And I typically think a lot of times that the second movie in a planned trilogy is weak.
It's a waste.
Yes, because you're just using this as like a bridge movie to get to that last movie. The stakes are not as high for our heroine or hero, whoever that's going to be the protagonist. The stakes aren't that high because you already know that a third one is planned, so I hate when that happens. And then it's like, you just kind of have to put a lot of filler because you can't get to the climax that you want to get to because you have to do this third movie. And so I just felt like Kills just did too much. It was kind of sloppy. It was all over the place. They had these characters that we didn't like really care about. They were getting way too much fucking screen time. I hate that my girl Lori was locked in a fucking hospital room. It was just too much.
And then it's that vignette almost of Big John and Little John, like when that it seems so obscure.
Dante,
It seems like it's so weird. It seems like a different movie.
it's like a novella within a movie.
And I know people will be like, well, they're at Michael's house, and that's how they get back to Michael's house. But I was like, I want to hold your hand when I tell you.
With a napkin.
When that's in between. That part sucks. He actually cares about the house more than Lori.
Dante!
No, you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying.
Okay, this is about to give me indigestion, so I'm going to have to insist that we move on from talking about this movie. I hated that. I don't like that. I don't want to get. I'm. My blood is boiling. I'm getting a headache. Okay, that's how we feel about those movies. Okay, David Gordon Green is fresh off of that when he comes out with Exorcist Believer, which I was like, they have too much fucking trust in this man. Why are you giving him these franchises? I'm kind of sick about it. I didn't hate Exorcist Believer.
I didn't either.
I thought that it was fine. I think that the only place that they went wrong was attaching the name The Exorcist to it. Because I think that if it had been just another, like, generic exorcism movie, which there are tons of them,
it would have been better received.
I think that there was too much hype built around it as this is going to be another movie in the Exorcist franchise.
And they brought back the characters, and that was weird. What they did to Chris was weird.
Dante, what the fuck was that about? I don't respect that. My thing, this is an aside. David Gordon Green, in my opinion, doesn't respect legacy characters, and that pisses me off. Because I thought that what he did with Lindsay, I know that I said that we were moving on from Halloween, but I just need to say this.
But she changed her mind.
And I'm allowed to do that. I thought what he did with Lindsay, like, yeah, I guess she lived okay, but what did she do? Why bring her back if she's just gonna be like a fucking bartender? I don't respect it, and I don't like what he did with Chris, the Ellen Burstyn's character. I don't like that he brought her in. There was all this build up just to fucking blind my girl, and then put her in a home somewhere, and then be like, oh well, we tried.
Why did he do that? But I do think personally that a lot of that backlash, I think people didn't like that line when she talked about the patriarchy.
Yeah, for sure. Among other things in that same vein.
Yeah.
This was another thing. I was talking about this with trailers earlier. The trailer led you to believe that this movie was going to be something that it wasn't. This, in my opinion, was not necessarily like a horror movie like what people were looking for. Like, I think that the audience that this drew was people that were looking for like a hardcore kind of horror movie, which this was not. This movie focused a lot more on like character development, getting to know the characters. And I know that a lot of people had issue with the, like, I think people described it as like the Avengers of religious leaders, because they had this like Pentecostal preacher, they had this nun, they try to get this priest from the Catholic diocese, which they do get for like 60 seconds, but they get this like root work healer, she's like a doctor, and so they have all these people there, and people thought that was like kind of crazy. I don't necessarily know why, because I think if that was my kid, I would be going to the corners of the earth. Anybody, I don't know who's right and who's wrong in this, but anybody that could help me try to save my kid, come to my house right now. I'll give anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I interpreted it.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe in hoodoo. I am not a Catholic. My faith doesn't align with a lot of these, but at the end of the day, it's not about what I believe. I'm not going to pick and choose just because I'm a Catholic. I'm only going to get a Catholic priest. What if this demon is not a Catholic? You know what I mean? Like, that was my thinking on the subject. I did not think it was weird that this father was trying to get every single person's help that he could possibly muster. That's what I have to say about it. Did I think that it should have been a part of the Exorcist franchise? I don't know. Who's to say?
If they would have taken out that part with Chris, that whole like subsection of Chris,
Yes.
I think the movie would have been tighter.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. Or even if you wanted to put in that he visited Chris, if you wanted to go see her, she's living in this like little remote house on this beach or whatever. You go to her, you get some advice, you get some like words, some of these sage words, and then you leave. I even think that would have been okay. She would have had her cameo.
You know when you're talking about that, what I'm thinking about? They're like, y'all, please get to the damn bullets. But we're not. We're going to keep
I
talking.
know, I'm sorry.
That
I'm
reminds me
sorry.
of in one of your favorites, Final Destination 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Clear Rivers goes to, like, they get the information from Clear Rivers, and the next thing you know, Clear Rivers outside, it's out the fucking, what's it called?
The psychiatric facility.
And you're like, why are you out? So you a damn fool. Okay.
Dante.
It kind of felt like that to me. It was like, in my opinion, Clear Rivers would never left that room.
If we're being realistic, because then why were you there in
In
the
first
first
place.
place? You literally have chosen to lock yourself off from the world because you're like, this is where I'm the safest. I've escaped death. I'm going to close myself off, and this is the place that I'm going to be safe. It's not the life that I want, but it's the life that I have to live in order to survive. Then people come and they're like, we're in the shit. Death is at our front door. And she's like, you know what?
I'm in.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, why did she get out of there?
That's kind of crazy, right?
That's how I felt with Chris. I was like, oh, he went to Kingdom House. I would have given him the information and told him never to return here again.
Yes, I would have
Called
been
the
like,
police, said there was a Negro at my house. And I want to make sure it never happens again.
Dante, I would have sent him on his way expeditiously. Don't bring that shit here. Get off my property. I would have turned antebellum south very
Fast.
quickly. I would have been like, sir, you need to leave my property immediately. But she's like, no, you know what? I'm going to come with you. I'm going to get up in this shit.
And I'm like, Chris is a 92-year-old woman.
Girl, what are you going to do? You barely survived your like 30s and your daughter was throwing you around the room like a fucking rag doll.
I thought that was a crazy decision.
Yeah, and then she just gets blinded, and it's so absurd. It's so, like, laughable on its face. I know that we said that we liked this movie.
Well, we do like it, but, like, that was a
crazy decision.
But everything, like Ruth said, everything with the legacy characters be so baffling.
And that turns people off, straight up. Okay, I'm
sorry, you guys. That was so tangent.
That was such a tangent. I think it was like 20 minutes. But I say all of that to say David Gordon Green stepped away from the Exorcist franchise. And maybe that was for the best. But okay. That was a planned trilogy, but that got scrapped. Shortly after all of that fiasco, it was announced that Mike Flanagan would be taking over this franchise. So they're gonna reboot it. They're not gonna acknowledge that The Exorcist Believer happened at all. So he's gonna be taking over writing and directing for this new Exorcist film. And he says that it's going to be a, quote, radical new take on the franchise. So it initially was slated to be released in March 2026. But earlier this year, so I think this was in June 2025, some astute Redditors noticed
the movie had actually been removed from Universal's upcoming release schedule.
So fans were like, what's going on? Is he not doing it anymore? So Mike Flanagan actually ended up having to release a statement, and he let everybody know that the movie is still happening, but apparently the Carrie miniseries is really time consuming, and he was like, the movie it's not going to be done by March 26th. He was like, there's no way, but it is still in the works. So that was a while ago he made this statement. Well, we just got a new update, and this was like last week. I think it was like right before Thanksgiving. So it was confirmed by Michael Flanagan that Scarlett Johansson has actually joined the cast. So it seems like she's going to star in the upcoming like radical new Exorcist movie. And it seems that the project is starting to move forward now. So it's kind of in like the early stages of development. I think they're doing casting. We don't know much more about the movie other than Scarlett Johansson is going to star, and that it's going to be set in the same universe as the 1970 3 movie, but it will not be a sequel to Believer. It's not going to be attached to that at all. I have seen people have mixed feelings about this.
This podcast has mixed feelings about it.
I don't. What do you think of that?
I'm so unexcited. I think after we talk about it in this episode, I'll never think about it again.
Okay, that is totally fair. That is 100% fair.
What are you thinking?
I am not like the hugest Scarlett Johansson fan. I think that she is fine as an actress. I just think that if that announcement was supposed to like get people like kind of hyped, it didn't do that for me at all. I think that, I don't want to sound like a skeptic or a naysayer. I know that we had a lot to say about what the hell the Scream 7 was doing. And now that I've seen the trailer, I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. And I'll probably feel like that if I see an Exorcist trailer. But I think that we do have to acknowledge kind of the elephant in the room. I know that how we feel about 3.
3 what?
The movie, Exorcist.
That I'm obsessed with it, and it's my favorite scary movie.
Right.
Okay.
So feelings about 3 aside, because I think that you feel like that, but I don't think a lot of people do. I think that like real horror fans probably do because it's a good movie, and I think that the acting is top tier. I don't think Brad Dourif gets enough credit
For how good he is in that movie.
Right. But beyond that, it's not like a hugely popular movie. I think that it's becoming more popular as of late, which is great. And I think that, it's niche. Kind of like Halloween 3 is now becoming like more popular as time goes on and people step away from it and they're able to see kind of the value in it. But if you move that aside, as far as like mainstream popularity goes, the Exorcist franchise has really kind of been riding on the coattails of this one movie that came out in 73.
Riding? No, baby. No. Does the term Lifeboat 12 mean anything to you? Does the term Carpathia mean anything to you? What are you talking about, girl?
Yeah, I think that it's like, okay, we're kind of holding on to this movie for dear life, right? Because at this point, there's been, it's in like 6 movies, so if you include like Exorcist Believer.
So it's been Exorcist 2, Exorcist 3.
In 2004, they had Exorcist the Beginning. Then they had Dominion. Which is like a prequel. Then they had Exorcist Believer. It's forgettable that it is a part of that franchise, but it is a part of that franchise, obviously. So, my thing is, all of these movies, every time somebody's like, oh, there's a new Exorcist movie coming out, they're always like, ooh, Exorcist 73. I'm not trying to be rude.
Why not?
But
She's not trying to be rude. She is giving out the Ruth.
that's a movie that's over 50 years old.
Yeah.
It's hard to get excited for something when it's like everybody's trying to like, can it live up to Exorcist 73? Can it live up to Exorcist 73?
No.
I think that we just need to kind of come to terms with the fact that this is not a strong franchise. It was a groundbreaking, very good first movie based on a book, almost verbatim. I do have to say that. At what point are we going to kind of like turn the pressure cooker down a little bit? I think that we just have to be like, is this movie going to be good in its own right? Is it going to be a passable, serviceable exorcism movie? Because those are kind of rare. There's a lot of slop out there as far as like exorcisms. Will he make a good movie? Probably. It'll probably be serviceable. Mike Flanagan is good. I think that he's very talented, but it's like, Jesus, The Exorcist is just not a good franchise. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, that's like Texas Chainsaw.
Yes.
They do you one better. Every movie is either are gonna do a direct sequel or a reboot. They reboot the franchise. They have no shame. It's like, why is the metric so high? Because people consider Exorcist one of the scariest movies. They consider Texas Chainsaw one of the scariest movies. They're both groundbreaking films. Why is the metric as good as this one? Because the answer is hell to the no.
It'll never be as good as the
First
first
one.
one. It just won't. And people need to accept that. If 6 movies in between were not as good, I can almost guarantee you, I'll bet y'all my fucking liver that you will not walk away from this movie feeling like, oh yeah, that was better than the first one, because it won't be. It just
It
won't.
won't.
But yes, I think The Exorcist Believer kind of suffered from that a little bit. You know, people had their issues with it that I think were motivated behind more than just like the quality of the movie. That's just how I feel about it. But beyond that, I think that people that were just trying to like judge it based on it as a horror movie, I think that that's an issue. People are going into these movies that are like, it's the new Exorcist movie, so is it going to stand up to The Exorcist 1? That is a mistake. You need to be asking yourself, is this going to stand up to Exorcist Dominion? And it did. It was better. It was better. Like, this is the thing you have to remember. This is a franchise with a bunch of dog shit movies in it. And so you have to be realistic.
That's because Esther Dominion. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was better. It was a better movie. Will this movie, I don't know a lot about it. I'm wondering if Scarlett Johansson is going to be like a parent. If it's going to focus on a child the way the last movie did, or the way Exorcist 1 did.
I don't want to do it. I wanted to focus on like a customer service rep.
Dante, I knew you were about to say something totally out the box, and I didn't. I wanted to focus on a Shoney's waitress and get into possessed and taking out the garbage after her shift.
I want to see a bitch. I want to see Zuzu attack like a chocolate fountain.
Attack the salad bar. It's like, I mean, he said it's going to be a radical. Don't make me laugh. He said it's going to be a radical new take on The Exorcist. Something tells me it's not going to be as radical as like a customer service rep or a Shoney's waitress, but we'll see. Who knows? You know. But is it going to be as good as the first one? No. Let's get that out of the way. It's not going to be as good as the first one because it's not going to be groundbreaking. It's not going to be historic. It's not.
It's not based on a
isn't going to
book.
be that. It's not based on a book. So let's be clear on that. It just will be, but will it be better than the Exorcist 2? Will it be better than Dominion? Will it be better than Believer? Probably. And that's going to have to be okay. At a certain point, we just kind of have to be okay with that.
I think that's a very good point. I think that's important.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our feelings on that. So I don't know. We'll see. More on that to come. More on The Exorcist to come and Mike Flanagan, because he's doing a lot right now. It's a multi-year, multi-project deal with Amazon. I'm sure that if he's going to tackle Carrie and the Dark Tower series, which is a ton, so I'm not sure how long that will take. He's already done other Stephen King adaptations. I'm thinking that we'll probably see at least one more, but we'll see. But moving on, so speaking of Stephen King adaptations, so I don't know if people have been watching, but Welcome to Derry is out. It's currently in its first season. So it premiered October 26th, so like a little over a month ago. It's currently on episode 6, so it's 8 planned episodes for season 1. In case you're wondering, it is not a retelling of it. It is not the characters that we know, their stories from it, really. So it's not the losers. They're not in this. These stories are kind of from the book, but there's if you read the book, there's the loser's story, which is kind of happening in the foreground, but then in the background, Stephen King goes through a lot of history of Derry, because that is really important to know, because it's, like they say, Pennywise's attacks on Derry are cyclical, so he comes, he gobbles up children, he sleeps for 27 years, give or take, and then he comes back. This is a part of that cycle, so these are all going to be kind of prequels to the It film. It's supposed to be 3 seasons. This current season is taking place in 1962. It's the time period that we're in. So this is the Pennywise cycle directly before
The Losers.
Yes, the losers from
The movie.
the most recent movies, the It 2017 and It Chapter 2, like those losers, because It 2017 is set in like 1989, and then we have like It Chapter 2, which is it is the 27 years after. So the following season, so it's apparently it's going to have 3. The season 2 is supposed to take place in 1935, and then season 3 is supposed to take place in 1908. The show is actually being like penned, and it's being worked on by Andy Muschietti, who he developed the series, but he is also the person that directed both It and It Chapter 2. So it's the same guy. So it's pretty cohesive in that regard. It has the same feel. As of the recording, there's still 2 more episodes coming, and the season finale is scheduled less than a couple of weeks. So December 14th is going to be the season finale. Have you watched any of it? I
Yes.
think you did, right? How are you feeling about it? Because I think it's generally positive, is what the reviews.
Well, I don't like prequels, so I had no desire to watch it when I heard it come out. But I was just like at home one day, and I put on the episode. I put on the 5th episode. I said, "Now, goddamn it, this too damn good." And I haven't missed the episode. I watch it.
All right,
I be
you got
so
me.
into it. That first episode had me respectfully motherfucked. I couldn't believe what they did with that. So I was like, this is crazy. Why do I like this show so much? Is this really how this episode ends? Okay, I won't miss an episode.
Yes. I do have to say, this is a horror podcast, so I know that we're not talking to like the young, hopefully, or squeamish here, but it is rated TVMA, and it should be.
It should be NC-17.
There's a lot. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of gore. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I was like, this is good. I think that they did a really good job with this. Some people might say that there's some stuff that's like kind of gratuitous.
Like what?
I don't.
Use an example so I can know what you're talking about.
Maybe the birth scene.
That was wild.
Yeah, this is a
Horror
show. And one thing that I did really like, that I'm happy that they're exploring, is there is a character named Dick Halloran.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people probably know Dick Halloran from The Shining, because that's the story that he's featured in the heaviest of the Stephen King novels, because he's like a major player in that book and in that movie. Dick Halloran, if you read It, he's in It too. He's talked about it. He comes in Dr. Sleep too, although it's like by spirit. And I think Stephen King's wife mentions him in one of her books too. He's like mentioned too. So Dick Halloran is like a reoccurring character. He's in the show, and I like that. I just thought it was like, it's just so well done on their part that they're featuring these characters, because there's a lot there outside of the losers. It has a lot of material there, and that's like what we're focusing on. We're focusing on Mike Hanlon's dad, one of the losers, his dad, Will Hanlon. We're focusing on him. We're focusing on Dick Halloran. It's just kind of focusing on Derry.
Why I'm so dumb. His dad is Will.
Yes. So, Will Hanlon is Mike Hanlon from the Losers Club, like the black loser. That's his dad. So this is his like young years, because it's like the cycle before. Another thing that I like that they're doing, because they're focusing on all these periphery characters, they aren't necessarily focusing on
Pennywise.
I thought that was a really neat decision. Now, for people that are like, what? That's crazy. Like, I don't want to watch it without Pennywise. Pennywise is in the show. He just isn't, he's not initially the focus. There's a lot of build up. And then the cool thing, Pennywise is obviously played by Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise in both It and It Chapter 2. So it's really neat what they're doing, I think.
Me too.
But yes, so 2 more episodes, I think the 7th and the 14th. If you guys haven't watched it, I recommend it, especially if you like this universe and you want to get a little bit more about it. I started watching it, one, because Dante told me to. He was like, it's good. And I was like, I trust my dear friend Dante.
Especially if I'm like watching a prequel.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, well, let me check it out because it must be good.
It's so good. I love it. I look forward to it.
I agree. So yeah.
Things I'm not looking forward to.
Well, okay. Next thing on the agenda. So, Weapons, this movie, literally, was just released a few months ago, which that sounds crazy. Doesn't it feel like that movie came out fucking last year?
At least in the top of the year.
Right.
It feels like it's so far, but because it's already on streaming, you know?
It is, but that happened quick with a lot of things. Sinners was already on streaming, quick.
I feel like a movie comes out and you really don't even get enough time to see it in the movie theater.
I can agree with that, especially if you run up against a situation like Frankenstein, where it's like more of a limited theatrical release, and then it gets pulled because it's supposed to be like Netflix, and Netflix is trying to make money off of it. If it's something like that, you don't get a lot of time, and it's like, well, shit, a bitch was busy.
Right.
But yes, so Weapons, it came out in August.
Did well.
It did really well. It was a really like a smash hit. I mean, it just like really blew up. It made 268 million on a 38 million dollar budget, so it really did well box office wise. It had a great critical reception, had great audience reviews, but there was one character that really stood out in the movie, and that's Aunt Gladys, played by Amy Madigan.
In the weirdest wig and makeup combination since Pennywise.
Literally. So the character was like such a standout that apparently she's getting her own prequel movie. So it's going to be like an Origins of Aunt Gladys movie. This information came out like damn near right after the movie came out. They were like, oh yeah, we want more Aunt Gladys. Zach Kreger, so he's writer director of Weapons. He's confirmed that he is in talks with Warner Brothers. He's going to write and direct the prequel to this movie, stating, quote, "I was ready. I had it kind of in my pocket before the movie came out." Not a lot is known about the story yet, except according to Zach Kreger's, it's going to likely come down to one of two things. And I think that he said that he's leaving this decision up to Amy Madigan, the person that's playing Aunt Gladys. So one scenario is she is a person that learned magic in order to heal herself from this deathly illness, whatever that illness might be. But the other possible scenario is that she is not a human at all, that she's actually a creature that is trying to like mimic ordinary human behavior. So those are the two scenarios. We don't know which one it's going to be yet. Apparently he isn't quite sure which one it's going to be yet, but those are the things that are on the table. There isn't a timeline for the movie yet because Kreger's is actually currently working on the Resident Evil reboot first, which is something that's coming out. It's actually coming out in September 2026, and then he's going to circle back to the prequel. What are your feelings on this?
How do I feel about Aunt Gladys?
Yes, this prequel.
I'm not really excited about it, to be honest. When you start answering too many questions, you kind of take away from the like the essence of the character.
I agree 100%.
She's so random. The only person who knew anything about her was the secretary at the school, because she clocked her right away.
She was like, something's wrong with this bitch.
This goofy
Nobody
bitch
in their right mind would pair that wig with that lipstick. Something's off about this hoe.
This bitch is goofy.
The principal was like, okay, thank you. And the secretary was like, I'm not even sure I should leave you in here with this crazy bitch. Really crazy looking. And they made her that way. We're not trying to shit on the elderly, because I know you're probably like, well, that's not fair. Some elderly look like that.
No, it is. No, don't correct us. We know what we're doing.
I watched like the makeup. Zach Kreger's talking about the makeup of the movie. They were really, really intentional with the decisions they made about her look to make her look so creepy, to make her the way that she looks make you feel really, really uneasy. My thing is, I don't necessarily know if we need an origin story for this particular person. Just like I know a lot of people's issue, and I think it's your issue too. Did we need an origin story for Michael Myers? He's the Shape. We don't need to know that his stepfather called him Michelle.
He's probably a queer. I call the dick and balls his name Michelle.
Exactly. Did we need to know that was an interaction that Michael Myers not Michael Myers, that the Shape had? Did that add anything to the character besides kind of make you feel like a little bit sorry for him? But that was not the intention of this character. He's not supposed to be somebody that you feel sorry for. So it's breaking the whole mythos around this character, and it kind of ruins it a little bit. And I think that that's like, I think that is a lot of people's gripe with that version of Halloween, is that first whole half where it's just like, we're going to give this he's supposed to be eyes like black as night, devil's eyes. This is not a child. There's soulless. Like this is supposed to be Michael Myers.
Right.
There's nothing behind these eyes. Now you're like, okay, well, he has feelings about his mom. He doesn't like when people make fun of her for showing her titties at the titty bar. It's like, I don't want to know that. I don't need to know that.
Right.
So will this be the same? I think that we both agree on the point that, like, shouldn't we have some mystery for villains?
Because then it just opens up so many questions. Because it's going to be like, you have to explain the witchcraft in a way that people will feel like, okay, that's plausible.
Yes.
But like now we just like, no, she do witchcraft.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, once you have to start explaining too much, it's almost like a magic trick. Magic tricks are great. When you see them, you're like, oh my god, my mind is blown, ooh ah. But then as soon as somebody's like, yeah, this is how I did it, this cigarette didn't actually go through this table, then you're like, now if I see it, I'm not impressed. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay.
I want to be impressed.
I want to be impressed, and I want to walk away from that. It's okay to just be like,
have my own theories.
Yes. Like, let us use our imagination. And I don't know. It could be good. It could be not. I just felt like Weapons dragged a little bit. I didn't think that there was a reason for it to be over 2 hours. And it makes me worried that if we get this Aunt Gladys movie, we're getting a prequel. It should be a really succinct, tight
90-minute.
Yes. If you drag out an origin story for 2 hours, I already know that you're about to fucking kill this character because you're giving us too much information and leaving no mystery.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll see. So, next thing on the agenda. So, when I was talking about earlier how I was looking up like what horror movies are left to come out. And it's not really much. Like, we are in December. It's really not the time, but we do have a couple of things. So, of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out. So, we're recording this on December 2nd. It's coming out on the 5th.
I'm excited. I'm going to go see it.
Me too. So Matthew Lillard's going to be in it, and then obviously it was a huge deal. Skeet Ulrich is also going to be in it.
Doing what? I wonder.
Yeah. We'll see. Also coming out this month, I'm wondering, have you seen anything about this? The Silent Night, Deadly Night remake.
No, I haven't seen a poster for it. I only think I saw was in the bookstore one day. We saw the book, which I should have bought.
We did see the books. No, Dante, I think I'm going to order it. So look, so Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's like the official novelization. It's of the first movie. It was actually just released October 21st. It just came out. We saw it at Barnes & Noble, so it is out there. So apparently the author, Armando Munoz, it is an official novelization, but he was also given free reign to like expand the story. So apparently, according to him, I was reading on his website last night, there's a lot more history and backstory for all the characters, including Grandpa and Mother Superior.
Grandpa is so nuts.
He is nuts, and he's in the movie for, I think, maybe 3 minutes. So, yeah, apparently we're expanding upon that. I was also reading that in this, like, review, apparently there is some very strange sexual stuff.
Naughty and nice.
But it's like sexual violence. So
Oh,
as we know,
the first scene is already pretty violent.
yeah, it's really violent. So the first scene is it's actually pretty insane. So the if you haven't seen the movie, we
That episode.
did an episode on it. We have an episode on it, so go take a listen. But in the first scene, so a Santa Claus attacks this kid Billy's family, and there's a weird sexual part where he's trying to rob them, but he takes the time to like sexually assault the mom, which is very fucking strange. But that's in there, and it's really strange. Apparently, the novelization has stuff like that, but then Dante, crazy stuff. And I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but the novelization is out there. If you want to get it, it just came out. But the movie is starring Rohan Campbell, who you'll remember from Halloween Ends. He's Corey. He is set to play Billy, and it's supposed to come out on December 12th. So it's coming out soon. I don't know if it's going to be like a full theatrical release or a limited theatrical release because I've literally seen nothing about this movie.
I'm excited to see it though.
Yeah, so I did watch the trailer because I was like, is this fucking thing still happening? So I
Is
did
this
watch
real?
the trailer. Yeah, because no, I was literally like, was this just like a fan thing and this isn't real happen? No, there is a trailer. It is actually coming out. I'm just a little worried because I did watch the trailer and it
Look cheap.
yes. It looked cheap and it looked a little bit different than the original in a way that I'm not sure works, but I guess we'll just see. We'll just have to see. I think it's gonna be fun. I think there's gonna be a lot of kills. They look crazy. I think that they're going to bring back some of the kills that we know, like at the antlers. I saw that in the trailer, so that's gonna be in there.
That was crazy.
Right. And every time I think about that,
I think about the book.
Yeah. That book that we read.
Final Girl Support Group.
Yeah, Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix, which is great.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. It's a fun.
Yeah, if you like scary movies and slashers, you'll like this.
Yes, it's great. We talked about it before.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
But yeah, so it's being directed by Mike P. Nelson. He also directed VHS 85, which I didn't see, which came out in 2023. And he directed Wrong Turn 2021, which I also did not see. So, sorry. I don't know the caliber of this director's work. So we'll just have to see. It's coming out December 12th.
I'll see it.
You'll see it, yeah. If this is your first time hearing that this movie is coming out, that doesn't surprise me at all because I thought it was just a fan-made thing.
That's how it just seems like that really happened.
It's really happening. But also coming out this month, so this is I guess it's like the last big, like, quote-unquote horror movie that's coming out this month. So these are theatrical releases. And I use quotes when I say, like, horror for this. It's the Anaconda remake. Dante.
That shit looks so goofy.
It looks extremely goofy. So it's coming out December 25th.
Christmas.
So it's Christmas Day. And I was laughing because it's almost exactly what we predicted plot-wise.
Right.
Like, almost to a T. But it's funny because I remember when we were talking about it, we were like, oh, well, that's the only way that we think that it would work is if it followed our plot, which it kind of does. And I was like, that's why we should be consulted in the writer's room.
Because we know what's up.
Yeah. So the only exception to that is that the actors are not playing themselves, which is one thing. Because we were talking about the Nicolas Cage movie where he's like playing himself and it's the same writer for that. And we were like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense if these actors are playing themselves. Well, they're not. They're just regular guys. But everything else that we said is kind of like exactly how it's going to go. So they want to remake the Anaconda movie, and essentially they get in over their heads and end up being chased by an anaconda for real. Yeah. I would say that this is a horror comedy at best. I think that it keeps getting listed under the horror genre, this like horror tag, because there is a snake in it, because there's a large snake.
It looks like a comedy, like when you look at the poster.
I don't even think that it's
like
fair
Jumanji.
to call it a horror comedy. Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. They're just calling it a horror. It just keeps coming up under that. But it's Jack Black, Paul Rudd, I think Thandie Newton,
Yeah,
and what is his name?
Steve Zahn.
Yeah, Steve Zahn is in
I
it.
was
Straight
joking.
horror actors. No, does it? Yeah.
I was just like, what, Steve Zahn? It's like, who would be a random person in this movie? Steve Zahn.
Dante, that's it exactly. Yeah, Steve Zahn is also in the movie. So it's like straight comedy
Comedy actors.
actors. Yeah.
Well, everybody's in a horror movie. Paul Rudd's in a horror movie. Jack Black's in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Has Steve Zahn done a horror movie?
He was in Joyride. And I know that
Oh,
that's not billed as a horror movie.
but
It's
it
billed as
is.
like a thriller, but it is. But yeah, so we'll see. So December
25th.
25th, Anaconda. So just I'm going to run through these really quickly. So we don't have a lot of information on any of this, but these are some things that we were going to talk about before. Just with, like, these were announced just in 2025, like kind of since the last time we talked. I know that we talked about the fact that they're like remaking The Faculty, our feelings on that. But some other confirmed, so these are remakes, reboots, sequels that are coming. So Ma 2.
Baby. And I want to be crystal goddamn clear. I don't want to know how she got out that goddamn fire. I want them just to play the movie and cut to a scene, and Ma is just at a receptionist's desk with a new wig typing. And then when she gets home, she takes off that wig, and voila, that signature Ma Bumpy Bob is back. I don't
Yes.
want to know that how Ma survived. It is not important. Nobody cares how Ma survived. We are just happy that she's back. Please don't mess this up for us. Please don't over explain it. I don't care. I don't want her to be hiding behind some glass like Michael Myers, breathing all hard. I just want Ma just to be back.
I'm hoping that Blumhouse can read the room. This is a campy movie. This movie is not to be taken seriously.
Seriously.
I get it. It's a horror movie. I get it. People die. People are run down in the streets. But you knew what we came for. Read the room and do the right thing. Don't make it too serious. Don't get crazy. Just give us Ma.
I want foolishness the whole film. I want more Ma in hats.
Yes.
I want Ma doing dancing. There's nothing serious about Ma.
No.
Nothing.
So, yes, so Ma 2, Blumhouse, that's coming up. Apparently, we're doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, this is, I think, it's a reboot.
Of course.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, A24 is taking over. And it's supposed to star Glenn Powell.
Oh my God, this is going to be bad.
That's what they're saying.
Is this serious?
Who knows ultimately what's going to happen? There's a ton of articles out there about it. I think it's a lot of rumor right now. So it kind of seems like it's going to happen. But then remember that same thing happened with American Psycho, and ultimately that ended up not happening. So who knows? We'll see.
That's going to be so mid. Because the A24 is so hit or miss, and Glenn Powell is 100% hit or miss.
So I think that they're saying, so this is all like speculation right now. So that it was A24 was like the forerunners in this like fight for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which okay, but I think that they are floating around the idea that it might be a possible series instead of just another movie.
They should just remake Next Generation.
I don't know if that is something that is gonna happen.
I feel like
I don't know if that's something that's gonna happen.
I feel like that would be such a cool one to remake.
I don't think they should remake any of them. Can we just get a different installment?
No.
Like an actual installment?
I literally explained to you in this episode how it works in the Texas Chainsaw.
But can't we just, like, do something different?
That's no. No, they're like absolutely not. They're like absolutely not. No.
Well, maybe having a series will, one, bring some legitimacy to this franchise, hopefully, and maybe having a series will give it some time to just fucking like be good. Like, can we just sit in it, one singular project that we just do and it's good and we have some longevity in it? Because to remake this shit every year is insane.
It's ridiculous that somebody is still greenlighting these reboots.
I agree. So another thing that's apparently coming is Urban Legend. So Screen Gems is going to, I think, do another Urban Legend.
Okay. Loretta Devine. She signed on.
I need that to happen. I feel like we as the people need to make that happen. So it's apparently supposed to be a reboot.
Why?
I don't know.
That, to me, that's the perfect series to not reboot, because you could just always do so many more urban legends. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that, but I have a feeling that it's going to be, and I think this is the idea that's being floated out around there, is that it's going to be something very akin to I Know What You Did Last Summer, where it's going to be like a reboot, but it's essentially going to be like building off of what happened in the first movie. You know what I mean? They're going to start experience stuff and be like, oh my god, I think this happened before.
Let me call Loretta Devine.
And they're going to call Loretta Devine, which is what they need to do. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So another thing that is apparently in the works is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I think we kind of touched on
this before.
I can't remember if we talked about it if on like a pulse check or if we just talked about it.
We just talked about it.
Okay.
This is gonna be goofy.
So it's Amazon Studios, so it's gonna be an Amazon deal, and I think Ryan Gosling is producing it. Which I think this must be like more like a passion project type thing, right? Because that's so fucking random.
I like Ryan Gosling. He's kidding.
He sure is. I don't know. I'm really kind of hoping that it can still be set in the 80s. I feel like it works in the 80s.
Me too.
And I feel like if it's not set in the 80s, I don't know, that movie I feel like is good because of the 80s cheese factor. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be good. They had that video game of it, and I think it was pretty popular. But yes, so Blumhouse, they're talking about making Happy Death Day 3. So that's like in the works. Apparently they're doing a Cujo remake, so that's in the works at Netflix. So we'll see about that.
They're gonna put a copy of the book out and put their stupid ass sticker on it.
They are, just like with Frankenstein, and it's not going to be a sticker, it's going to be like printed on the book.
Like it's their book.
It's so gross. God. And then you won't be able to find a normal copy of the fucking book. Now you have to scour the used bookstores to find one that doesn't have a Netflix logo on it.
Which is so annoying.
Well, also in the works is, and I think we talked about this, is Single White Female. It's from Sony.
Is Sydney Sweeney in it?
No, it's Jenna Ortega and Taylor Russell.
Who's Taylor Russell?
Look her up. Because you remember in Single White Female, she starts to look like her. She kind of changed stuff to look like her. I was like, the casting is great. I was like, that's gonna work.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, I think Taylor Russell's gonna be really good. I think this is the way I'm picturing it in my mind. I think Jenna Ortega is going to be like the star. She's gonna be normal, and I think Taylor Russell is gonna be the crazy one that copies her, tries to take her life. That's just my feeling, but we'll see. Because I was like, I just think that's such a good casting for that. But also, so according to Sigourney Weaver, she recently had a meeting with Disney about reprising her role as Ellen Ripley in the Alien franchise. And I know that y'all are probably like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's true. She said it. So she apparently read the first 50 pages of a script that was written by Walter Hill that she said was very, like, she was like, it's quite extraordinary. So she was really excited about it. Now, Walter Hill has been a producer on the Alien franchise since the first movie in 1979. And he also co-wrote Alien 3. So he really knows the franchise really well and really knows the character Ripley very well. So according to Sigourney Weaver, she said, quote, "It would not be running around air shafts. it would be a very different kind of alien. Scary, of course. The alien does show up inevitably, but I love what he's done with the character. He really gets her strength and her anger and her humor, and it's very hard to write, and surprisingly hard to write Ripley. So, yeah, if everything works out, this will be Sigourney Weaver's first appearance in the franchise in almost 30 years. So the last time she was in an Alien movie, she was in Alien Resurrection in 1997. We don't have any more information on it than that Sigourney Weaver has read the first 50 pages of a script and she loves it. But I have a strong feeling that with the success of Alien Romulus,
Which was good.
right, and the fact that Sigourney Weaver is showing interest, I have a strong feeling that it's probably going to get made. They're definitely always going to want to do another Alien movie, and I think that they're going to want to bring back Ellen Ripley because she's a fan favorite.
So Aliens, Alien 3, and Resurrection are like a streamlined like story, right?
Yes.
And then it starts to get frisky.
Yeah, kinda. So the timeline with the Alien franchise is a little bit all over the place. It's a little funny.
Alien Romulus is like set, I think, between Alien 1 and 2, and then they have like Prometheus, Alien Covenant, like all that is set even before Alien. Those are prequels. So chronologically,
You have Prometheus, then Covenant. There's a show, Alien Earth, but okay. Then you have the first Alien movie, Alien Romulus, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. Sigourney Weaver or Ellen Ripley shows up in Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. So realistically,
even though Sigourney Weaver hasn't been in it in 30 years and they've made like subsequent movies,
Resurrection is technically
the last movie in the franchise. In that timeline wise, it's the last movie. If Ripley did come back, like if we pick the story back up, they don't have to contend with other movies in between. It would literally just be picking the story back up from where we left off.
I love that. Romulus was really good. I saw that in theaters. I really liked it.
Yeah, I think everybody did. It was very popular.
You ain't special.
No, that's not what I meant.
All right, 30 years later, Sigourney Weaver said, "Let me get a check."
Yeah.
If Nev Campbell can do it, so can I.
Right.
At the end of the day, she is the franchise.
Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure more of that to come. Then last announcement. So Scary Movie 6. So we were like just talking about this. This is set to be released June 26th. So we did get some new cast announcements. So Sherry O'Terry is coming back. So I don't know if anybody remembers. Sherry O'Terry played Gail Hailstorm in the first one. She's funny. She's great. Chris Elliott is also coming back. So Chris Elliott, he plays Hanson, the like creepy caretaker in Scary Movie 2, which is my favorite Scary Movie. But he is also in Scary Movie 4 as a different character. But he is coming back. Dave Sheridan, who plays Officer Doofy in Scream 1, is also coming back. And as well as Lachlan Monroe and John Abrahams, they're both in Scary Movie 1. So all those people are coming back, which is nice. We'll see familiar faces that we know are funny, that we can rely on. Because after Scary Movie 3, it started to get kind of shaky. And they just started putting in just like fucking any and everybody. And it got kind of crazy and bad. But in addition to those characters, who are all great, excited to see them. But let's get to the meat of it. Marlon and Sean Wayans are, of course, going to be there. But what we were all waiting for, what we needed in order to determine if this was going to even be worth watching or not, Regina Hall, who plays Brenda, and Anna Faris, who plays Cindy, are also coming back. And that is what made it. That's what got the people going.
They are Sydney and Gail.
If Brenda wasn't in this movie,
Nobody was watching it.
No.
If Regina Hall would have been like, I passed on the script, we would all know his ass.
Yeah. But Regina Hall is coming through. She's going to be Brenda. I hope that she is featured heavily.
Every scene.
I'm talking starring, yes. And then writing, it's going to be Marlon Shawn and then Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Keenan?
Yep. So it says Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, and Keenan Ivory Wayans, the architects of the franchise, returned to write the script alongside longtime collaborator Rick Alvarez, who is also producing. I'm excited. I'm at least hopeful. I don't know if it's going to be good. I don't know if it's going to be bad, but at least we are returning to the roots because the Wayans brothers, especially Keenan, are involved, and that's a big deal because that's bringing it back to like the heart of the franchise because it got kind of crazy.
I think Keenan's great.
I think Keenan's great as well. But yes, so that is all that we had as far as like pulse check stuff. So we're going to talk about what we do every time, what you've been seeing in the movies lately. But I do have to add, we saw a movie together. We saw a horror movie together.
They're sick of us already.
Well, get used to it.
But yeah.
We saw Keeper in theaters when we had our little visit together. So Keeper was Osgood Perkins. He directed. This movie just came out in November.
In November.
Yeah.
We saw it day of.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. We did. I liked it. I'm not sure if Dante liked it.
I liked it.
It's very different.
I did like it.
Good. I've noticed that it wasn't getting a ton of love on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff, which isn't surprising to me.
People don't like Osgood Perkins though, because they're still mad about Long Legs.
I think that he's great. He didn't write it, but it is very good. I thought that the writing was good. It is different. I will give you that.
I thought the monkey was good too.
Now, he did write that as far as like adapting it to a movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not his story. But yeah, so we did see that. Anything else that you've seen?
Since when?
Have you been to the movies since we went to the movies?
No, but I've seen movies. I saw Shelby Oaks right before that.
Yeah, how was that?
It was good. Before that, I saw Black Phone 2. I saw The Strangers, Chapter 2. I saw Him. I saw The Long Walk. I saw Together with Dre Franco and Alison Brie.
How was that?
I like that one. I liked it more than Shelby Oaks.
Really? I was really excited to see Shelby Oaks.
It wasn't bad. Shelby Oaks wasn't bad. Shelby Oaks is not bad at all. I just like Together more. I think it's weirder.
I like weird.
Shelby Oaks is just... She makes so many bad decisions.
Okay, well, I don't like that.
It wasn't bad, though.
Not that it matters that much, but Shelby Oaks does not have good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, okay, is it in like the 70s?
No.
It's in the 50s?
It is in the 50s.
It shouldn't be in the 50s. It should be like in the late 60s, early 70%.
Keeper is in 50s for critics, 40s for audience, but not that many people saw it, so it really isn't a good... It's not a big sample size. I do think that Keeper is... I just like that stuff that it's like eerie, slow burn type stuff, and I think we talked about this in the car, like after we saw the movie. It reminds me a lot of... I read the book, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I read it like 3 times just to try to like fully grasp the story. They did make a movie. It was a Netflix movie. I don't know. I think people were kind of iffy on the movie, but it reminds me a lot of that story in that things are very strange and you're really uncomfortable and you don't really know why for a long time. It's like things are just creepy. The atmosphere is really eerie. The whole time you feel like you're in danger, like the protagonist is in danger, when really nothing bad is happening.
Right.
And I like stuff like that because you're like, where is this going? And then it's like an added bonus that it also happens to be really fucking strange. Like when you do get there, I think that maybe, I'm not sure what people's like criticisms are of it, but I could see people saying that like you have all this tension, this eerie buildup, and then you get there and it's kind of like this weird, like it's not what you were expecting.
What's supposed to be? I feel like the movie's supposed to be different.
Yeah.
It has this balls to the wall ending,
Right.
and I think people don't appreciate that.
Yeah. But I want something different. I want something unique. I want people to take risks and chances. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And that's fine. But I really appreciate movies where they're taking chances. And this movie did take a chance. Now, whether you think it paid off or not, that is totally your taste and what you're looking for in a movie. But I do kind of think it would have done a lot better ratings wise if it just had been like the guy's a bad guy and they have like a showdown or something. You know what I mean?
If I have to watch another goddamn movie, I've already seen it on the screen.
I agree. But yeah, so that is all that I had for the pulse check.
Yes.
I think it's been great. It's nice being back and talking to everybody. I know that we have not been around in a while. We haven't did a pulse check since March.
Yeah. This year didn't have many episodes.
No, we didn't have many episodes this year, but that is going to change. It's just been a lot going on. I promise I'm going to get my shit together because I owe it to my co-host, my lovely, patient co-host, as well as you guys that want to hear the episodes. I promise. We have them recorded. We're recording this. We're going to get it out. It's going to be great. I promise. New year is going to be great.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's going to be it for us. We are going to have episode come out for Christmas. But in case we don't talk to you guys, like record something new before then, I guess Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Did you want to tell them about the social media?
Okay. We love to hear from you guys. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook with the handle Did You Get That on Film? You can also email us at didyougеттhatonfilm@gmail.com. For our Spotify and Apple Podcast listeners, leave us a review as well as a rating. Reviews are the best way to support the podcast and help it reach a further audience.
That sounds great. And that's it for this week. We hope to be back next week with a brand new episode. So until then,
Bye!